Hi, this is Luke from SwopBots. In this video we're going to look at using the level builder. So I've got SwopBots open and I've logged in. Remember, if you log in you'll be able to save your levels and carry them on a different computer. If you don't log in, you'll only be able to play your levels on that computer you've used. So the first thing to do is I'm going to go to Make. Now we can see here's some games I've created before, and I could carry on working on these, but at the moment I'm going to create a new level. So this big red bar at the top tells us we're in editor mode. Pay attention, it can be easy to get mixed up between editor mode and play mode. So to begin with, I'm going to drag out a platform from the bottom, and this plus and minus means I can increase and decrease the size of the platform, and I can move it around once it's in there. Then let's start off. I'm going to put Switch into the game. Here's her respawn point. Going to put her there. You can see we can only have one Switch in the game, but we can have many platforms. So the number of platforms here is basically infinite, but some things are limited. So I can only have one switch and one loop, and I can only have one teleporter. So I've put this platform here. Now if I don't want that, then I can drag it down to the trash can there, and when it turns red and I release, then it's deleted. To move around on the screen, I can press the right mouse button down and drag to change position, and I can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel, or I can use the magnifying glass here. So it is a bit easier to zoom out so you can see more. So I've got Switch there, and just going to extend that platform a bit. So imagine I want to test this. So to test it, I go to the play button up here. If I press play, it's going to tell me you need the following before you can play a level: at least one Violum crystal and a teleporter. In fact, if I delete Switch now and I press play, it tells me that I need at least one player, switch or loop, at least one Violum crystal and a teleporter. So you have to have at least this in order to have a level you can play. So let's bring Switch back in and I'll just position her there, and we'll make the simplest level possible. So I'm going to put one piece of Violum there, and let's put a teleporter in there. So most basic level possible. Now when I go to play, we're now in play mode. If I go back to this cog, then I'm back in editor mode. So always look at the top to see if it says editor mode. If you've got the play button, you can play. If it doesn't say editor mode, then you're in play mode. And to go back, I press the cog. So that switches between the two modes. You'll also see in editor mode there's the trash can, and under objects I have the objects that I can drag out. So I can put another piece of Violum there, and when I go to play, objects has changed it back to the normal objects we have in the game, and it's filled in Switch for me there. So this is the normal game. I can get coding. Now to begin with, it's given me some when pressed blocks, and it started me off with some of these blocks. So I can simply get walking and collect things. Now this is just for testing. So if I go back to the cog, then it resets everything as it was when you were building before you pressed play. So I can come back into editor mode and start making this level a little bit more interesting, a bit more complex. Let's actually bring another platform out, and I'm going to put the teleporter up here, another crystal just there, and if I go to my control, motion, sensing, looks tabs, here we can see we can set the number of blocks that you want to start with. So here it's starting off with 5. That's a bit many, I don't want that. And under motion we've got lots of change X and lots of change Y. I don't really want that. I'm going to go down to 1 change X and 0 change Y. So when the game starts, I've got 1 when pressed and 1 change X. So let's go to play here, and I'm going to click on switch because I can't move her at the moment. I'm going to go to control and bring in my when pressed block and then my change X, and I'm going to walk along. So I've collected 1 crystal. Now I need to get up to this platform, but I have no change Y blocks and there are no blocks for me to collect. So it's now impossible for me to complete this level, so I need to go back into the editor mode and make some changes. So I'm going to drag out a change Y block for her to collect, and I'm going to drag out a when pressed block. So put the violin there, we'll leave the blocks there. Let's go back into play mode. So we'll add the code to switch. Now she's collected the violin and she's collected those blocks. So now I can use the change Y block and she can jump and she can collect that crystal.
I need to get to the teleporter.
And she can go through the teleporter. Now because you're in the level builder, that's it, it stops there. So if I go back to my cog and into the level editor, then it will reset. Just going to show you one more thing. Let's imagine that originally perhaps this platform had been up here. Let's say about there. And then I go to play mode. One thing to notice, if you put switch there and you go to play mode, then she will fall down just like the teleporter and the violin. So I go back to editor, you can see if these things were not touching and I press play, they will fall down with gravity. So I'm going to go back and just do what I did before and walk along. And I've collected, just put the change Y in first, and then I'm going to go for the up key and 15, but this time can't quite reach that platform. So let me just come back a bit. If you've done something like that and you don't want to have to go back to the editor mode and start again, we can use the hand icon here. And now we're not in the full editor mode, but I can make some changes. So I can drag this platform down a little bit. I can actually leave these things here. I can increase, decrease. So I can make some changes when I'm in the drag mode. And if I unselect that one, then I'm back in the full play mode and I can jump up onto the platform. So that's one little tip there. I'll show you again. So I'm in the play mode, but if I want to make some slight changes, then I can go to the hand, and you'll see that we're in the still in the play mode, but I can make some changes. I can change things around, I can move the position of the platforms, but you'll see I don't have the trash can, I can't delete. So this mode is for just slightly changing things to get them exactly where you want them. And then I can click on that again and I can begin testing.
I need to get to the teleporter.
Okay, so I'm going to go back into the editor mode. So I've got a very basic level working there, and now I want to save it. So there's two things that you save. In editor mode, if I go to save, this will save my game for editing. So if I save it like this, then I can come back in and I can edit it. So I'm going to call it editor tutorial and save. So we've got one warning here: your game name should not be more than 15 letters long. So it doesn't really like very long names, so I'm going to call it editor tut for short and save.
Game saved.
So now that is saved. Now I'm going to come out of here to the menu and into make, and we can see that level here, the editor tut. But what we don't have a version of the game that I can play or share with other people. If I go into play and go to my game, so this is one I did before. This is not that game, so I cannot just play the game I made. And again, in class, that game I made is not shared with the class. If I want to do that, I need to go back into it. So we go back to make, and I will click on this one to edit it. It will load up. So here we are in editor mode. Now if I go to play mode, this is how I need to save it, in play mode. So you see we only have two options here, save and spawn. I can't get back to the menu. If I save, so this is the version that we can play. So I'll call it play tut and save.
Game saved.
Now I go back to the menu. I can't get to it from here. I need to go back into editor mode, then into menu. Now if I go to play and my game, this is the one I've just saved. So this one, if I click on it, will go straight into playing it. Again, this game is now shared with the class. That's the username, and here is that name, play tut. And if I click on this, and if someone in your class clicks on it, they won't be able to edit it. They'll go straight into the version that they can play. So here we are. You see, we don't have the editor button. This is like a normal level that I can play. So I'll click on switch, and we'll start playing. So when you've done it like this, someone can play your level, but they're not going to be able to edit it or cheat. They have to play it exactly as you've made it. And we'll go up. And is 10 enough? Nope. I'm going to need to jump by 15, and she makes it.
I need to get to the teleporter.
And we can go through the teleporter. And it takes us back to the main menu. So we'll just go back to make. So this is the one we were just playing as a game. If I want to make changes to it, I need to go into it through the make menu. And here we are back into editor mode, and I can make changes to it. So another thing to note is that there is no opportunity for bonus violum when you create your own levels. So when I drag some violum out into the game, the number needed is the exact number in the level. If I press play, I'm going to need 3 pieces. There's no way to get bonus violum. So you can't make a level with 100 pieces of violum and collect 100 bonus pieces. If you want that bonus violum, then you'll have to play the regular game levels. So say I've made this level now, I made some changes, and I want one of my classmates to play this. So I'm in play mode. We know that because it doesn't say editor mode. I'm in play mode. I go to save, and I'm going to call this Play Tut 2. Save.
Game saved.
Then back into Editor and to the menu. Now when I go to play, and firstly into My Game, so this is that new one. We can see there we've got 2 pieces of Violum up there, and if I go to Class, under M Smith, Play Tut 2, so someone else in my class can now play that game. Okay, that's a quick introduction to the level builder. I hope you have a lot of fun building levels. Make something fun, make something challenging, and enjoy playing each other's levels. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video soon.